Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Laurie, and today we're going to make these embroidery hoop spheres. I've actually seen them around for a while, and I finally got the supplies together to make them. They come in different sizes, and they're actually perfect to put in the little nooks and crannies that you have around your home. If you haven't yet subscribed, I would so love to have you as a member of my YouTube family. So please don't forget to click that subscribe button below. And if you know anyone that would like to make these spheres, make sure you share my video with them.
We're going to begin this project by using bamboo embroidery hoops that I found at Michael's. I'm using 2 8-inch, 2 6-inch, and 2 4-inch for this project. My hoops came with stickers, so I'm going to be sure to remove all the stickers and any little residue that may be left behind. On top of the hoop where the metal screw is, there's a little plastic covering the metal pieces. I left that on because when you're painting, that will protect that part of the hoop, and then you can peel it off after. Once you have all the sticker residue removed, you're then just going to pop the hoops out so that you end up having 4 individual hoops. You may have to loosen up the screw a little bit to get them out, but you will have 4 individual hoops. And after you separate all the hoops, you will have 12 in total. And for this project, I am using my black ink, white, and my elephant gray Waverly chalk paint. So for the 8-inch hoops, I decided to use my white paint. And it's so simple. All you do is just paint the outsides, the insides, and make sure you get the edges. When you're painting, just be careful not to get the paint onto the metal hardware of the hoop. And when you're done, you'll have 4 white 8-inch hoops. For my 6-inch hoops, I'm using my elephant gray paint. My hoops from Michael's came with little plastic stickers over the metal part of the hoop. And you can peel this off once you're done painting, but it's handy to leave it on, so just in case you overlap or paint over it, it won't affect the metal underneath. And your gray hoops are complete, and now we're going to use the black paint to paint the 4-inch hoops. And you're just going to follow the exact same instructions as before. We're going to begin using the 2 white hoops that have no hardware. And all we're going to do is simply place one of the hoops in between the other. And once you have the 2 hoops together, you're now going to take the hoop with the metal screw on the top and you're going to place it over the other 2 hoops. It's going to take a little bit of manipulating to get the hoops exactly where you want them. So I just continued kind of moving them around and playing with them, and eventually they fell right into place. I made sure that I kept the top screw at the very top of all the hoops. And when I had the hoops exactly where I wanted them, I just used the top screw to secure them tightly together. And then I took the other hoop and I placed it over the side of the 3 hoops. This also takes a little bit of manipulation. I just kind of moved all the little hoops around until I had them exactly where I wanted them and that the screw was in the center of one of the hoops. And then I just screwed them tightly together and my sphere was complete. So for my 6-inch hoops, I just removed that little protective covering over the metal. And then once again, I used the 2 hoops that had no hardware on them, and I simply placed one inside the other. I then used one of the hoops with the hardware screw on the top, and then once again I just kind of manipulated it around until they all fell into place, and then I used the screw on the top to secure them together. I took my last gray hoop that had hardware on it and I placed it over the other 3 hoops. I continued manipulating all the little hoops until there was an even space between all of them. And once that was done, I just screwed them together. This time I had the screw in the open part of the sphere. And the best part of working with these embroidery hoops is there's no glue involved, so you can continue to manipulate it until you have each hoop exactly where you want it. And the last little sphere to make is the 4-inch. And once again, we just placed the 2 hoops together that had no hardware on them, and then I placed one of the hoops with the hardware, making sure that it was on the top, and just kind of manipulated the little hoops together. And I just screwed it on tightly so that they would all be secure and that the spacing was exactly where I wanted it. And then I took the last hoop and I simply slipped it over the 3 on the side. And once again, once I had the spacing correct, I just simply screwed it together, and that pretty much secured the little sphere. One of the options is to actually embellish the spheres, and by doing this I simply use some silver thumbtacks. You place the thumbtack in the center where the 2 pieces of wood meet together. The bamboo is pretty tough wood, and I needed to use a pair of pliers to push the tack through both pieces of the hoop. I continued to embellish the little sphere so that each section where the wood met had a little tack accent. The tacks give the spheres a really cool industrial look to them. I decided I wanted these spheres to look more country, so I painted over the tacks, but I have to say I really do like the texture that the tacks left on the little spheres. These embroidery hoop spheres were so easy to make, and they're actually complete and ready to use. Now this step is completely optional, but I didn't want friends or family coming over and picking them up and them being kind of moved out of place, so I decided to use my E6000. However, you could probably use Elmer's glue or Aleene's and just kind of tack the glue in the little areas where the hoop met together. Using an old kid's paintbrush and my E6000, I just kind of placed a little dab of glue where the 2 pieces of the hoops met together. And once I was done, I took some clothespins and I placed them over the areas where I had glued the hoops together. Just be sure there is no glue residue where you are attaching the clothespins, or you may have clothespins attached to your spheres. I then glued together my 6-inch gray sphere. Once the white and the gray were dry, I simply removed the clothespins. My 4-inch black sphere was attached with the thumbtacks, so this project is complete and I am so happy. I think they came out just perfect.
I hope you had fun making this video with me. I had a blast, and if you like this video, I actually have other videos that are similar, so I'm going to link them right after I say goodbye. Bye, everybody.